we are off with another, I am off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with absolutely fucking nobody because Zach is away and he didn't tell me until I had to ask today. So looks like we're going solo. I think I've done one or two of these by myself, never live. So this can go really well or really poorly. And I have a feeling I will do much better than he did a couple weeks ago when Milo was vomiting everywhere. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, I post it later. I do the editing. I do all the work. So any feedback's always good. I'm going to turn the comment section on today. So anybody who's out there, you want to holler at your boy, I'm here for you. People watching this, give us a good rating. Leave a comment. Leave a review. And remember, the next time that you hear somebody talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, tell them, I don't really care because it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. But if you want a great podcast, Booze Your Daddy, that's what you should listen to because we like when people love us, but we love when people hate us. What am I drinking? Thanks for asking. Nobody asked anyways. Zach adds very little to my life, but he did bring me a little dill pickle, the original pickle shot. I'm kind of not in the mood for a lot of beer tonight, so I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll just drink some of this. Should I sip it? Should I drink it? I don't know. Doesn't have a lot of alcohol. High Tunta. Release the twistin'. Pinkies up. L'chaim. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's straight pickle juice. It's like fermented pickle juice. Absolutely terrible. Got an interesting episode planned for tonight. Some people know, I guess, in the last 2 weeks, things have been a little rough in the Simon family, where unfortunately, my Bubbie of 96 years has passed away, and that was on Monday last week, so it's been a whole week. Some people posted stuff online. Negro Model on the Upper West Side, hey, not my favorite, but I'll take it. What up, T-Bone? So things have been pretty good, I guess. I don't know. When you lose somebody in your family, it's never a positive experience. That being said, 96 was a good run. And I got a chance to go down and say our goodbye. We did a whole little hospice experience, which was interesting to say the least. I've been talking to people all week going like, what's better? Somebody just leaves or you get a chance to watch them go? And honestly, none are great. It's a part of life. It's something you got to deal with. This is a comedy podcast. I don't want to get into sadness, but I do appreciate the well wishes. Pickle juice. No, you're not. I'm a pickle juice, I think. But we got a chance to go down, and if you don't know my family, we roll hard. These Simons are 21 plus 7 minus 2 plus 10. People at this hospice, they were wishing they could leave in many ways more than one because we went there and we sat around, and it probably was a little too loud for a situation, but it was good that we all got to see her for the last time, say our goodbyes, rub her back, do what we can do. It was not a fun situation, but yeah, I guess it's better than not. I'm trying to think, anything relevant from hospice that happened. The only good, funny story was I have an uncle, and he's not a drinker, and he exercises, and I think he works out. And I give him a big hug, and oh my God, was he fat. I couldn't get over it. My Uncle Steven has put on so much weight, considering he just lost a ton of weight for his daughter's wedding somewhat recently. And then we're sitting there, I'm like, buddy, how does this happen? And my cousin turns and goes, well, he drinks 4 sodas a day, and my jaw hit the floor. Tell me their diet. Tell me it's Coke Zero. Nope. Love my sugar and love my candy is what he said. You do the math on that. I don't know if it's a can, a 20 ounce. I had to do the math in the car. When you get down to it, basically he's having 2 2-liter bottles every 2 days. When it's the ounces, it blows my mind. I was like, buddy, just switch, do diet, do something else. And he didn't want to hear it. He told me alcohol's terrible for me, but that is his right. So we got the bad news. Julia, my son, we did get a chance to go down and do that. And then for the funeral, I had just had a week last week and things are busy. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to wake up early, and I beat my alarm. I think I woke up at like 4:30, got on the road at 5. It was pitch dark, drove down, annihilated podcast, got to listen to everything. If you know me, it's one of my favorite things is just driving and not listening to people and just getting to listen to what I want to listen to. Never music, just news, just sports. Not a fun time. Get to my sister's house, change. We head to the funeral where I was charged with being the eulogy speaker representing the grandkids. The rabbi, who's not a fan of me marrying a non-Jew, said everybody should talk. The parents, the kids, the grandkids, and not everybody wanted to. So he did a quick little interview a couple days before. I was on FaceTime kind of listening to it. And then they said they want me to talk. And I've had for years, like even a comedy bit where, look, Bubbie was 92. It's her last birthday party. Bubbie's 93. It's her last Christmas. You gotta go. And I used to joke about it, but of course, I loved her. And I think I did do a good job with everything. Part of me wanted to do a roast. I really wanted to make it like, because she didn't have a bad bone in her body. She was literally nobody's enemy. Nobody hated her. She said what she wanted to say, but for the most part, she was a happy person. I had a whole like, well, here's why she's a bad person. But of course, I couldn't do that. And you're in this fake synagogue. It's not. You can't say certain things, but it's trying to be respectful. So let's do a roast here, Samantha. I do have some things that I like to say. I meant to record the speech. I really did. I brought not one, not two, but 3 cell phones. One had my note. Only a couple people have noticed this. Definitely one of my cousins that I'm terrible with timing. If there's one thing that will be the downfall of me, and I don't even think people who watch this show, 290 some episodes, I always have a timer next to me, always counting how much, because I lose track of time with the best of them. Shocker, I can talk. My mother told me 2 things before I got up on that stage. She said, 1, keep it short, 2 minutes, 3 minutes max, and 2, if anybody before you, the rabbi, has said a story, do not repeat it. I think that's my mom's 2 pet peeves at these funerals, where the people either go up there and tell you a great story about somebody who's not in the box, or they say go up there and you better nail it, but do not tell it. Oh, this happened. And then the next person, oh, they loved gefilte fish. Next person, oh, gefilte fish. Well, I don't like gefilte fish. I don't even know if Bubbie did. So those were the things that I went for, and I forgot to record the freaking thing. There is video online. I've already went on to watch it, and as I told everybody, it's the best feedback you can get. It cuts out. Half the punchlines are missed. But I figured, you know what? I made bullet points. So for those of you who want to hear it, get ready, because you're getting to hear it mostly again. I'll throw in a couple of the things that I didn't want to say before. As I say for any speech, the first thing you do, you just thank everybody for coming. So anybody who's watching this, we have more viewers than most. Some people are first time, some people are long times. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming out. I introduced myself. Who am I? I think some people there knew me. Maybe I had more hair than last time. Maybe the last time I had less hair. I don't know. I said who I was. I let everybody know that I felt very lucky that we got 93 really, really amazing years with our Bubbie Hytsie. And I thought that was great because she was a sweet person, and you really couldn't know it. Like, if you got to know her, you would know she did some things where, she had a fake boyfriend at one of her living spaces. And this guy had full ankylosing spondylitis, which means he was bent forward. It's called bamboo spine. But for the non-doctors, this guy was a 90-degree angle looking at the ground. She would just call him Chuck the Schmuck to his face, which I think is really funny. And if you know me, I'm not afraid to say anything, but to call like her friend, hey, Schmuck over here, it was very funny. But for the most part, she was a really nice person. If he was at the funeral, the first thing she would have said was, so, what's doing? Which is her key phrase. I think I'm going to borrow that. I think I do it with my mom and my sister on every phone conversation anyways. That's how she started things. She was a mother for 73 years. That's so long. I'm a father for 2 years and I'm exhausted. I have 1 kid. She had 5. She was a Bubbie for 48 years and a Bubbie Hytsie for 17 years. She had a nickname. It's episode 296, calling this one Bubbie Hytsie. I have no idea what it stands for. I threw it out there at the funeral. If anybody still to this day knows what this nickname is, her literally next to the casket, every time people talked about her, it said Rena quotation Hytsie Simon. It's like she was a UFC fighter. No nickname, but she had no middle name, but she had a nickname. I don't know the story. I'd love to know it. Before the whole thing, I did reach out to some of my cousins, and we all threw out our favorite memories of her. And I don't know if this is for me. I barely remember it, but she'd always come in and jingle her keys, like announcing her. It's like she had her own theme music. It's not quite stone cold glass breaking, Tehan, but it's every time she entered a room, she'd shake her keys and go from there. She had so many sayings. I never thought of her as a particularly intelligent or original type of person, but the truth was, so many things that she says, when the one I couldn't bring up, I think she invented this. She calls people on motorcycles future organ donors. It cracks me up every time. How many patients I get come in my office, they're on a motorcycle, either they're about to have an accident or they've had an accident or it's a matter of time. It's absolutely terrible. I call them her Bubbie minces, which is a very Yiddish inside joke, but it was funny. She would retell stories with the best of them, and she'd go around and call this person and call this person. And we have our own code now because we would just always yell at her and go, "You told me, Hytsie. You told me." And anytime now, my mom, my sister, they repeat it, "You told me, Hytsie." I think that one's going to stick for however long we can get it going. "You told me, Hytsie." She spoke in hyperboles. Everything was, oh, it was the best. The weather was terrible. And no matter what she was doing, never in my whole life did that happen. It was always funny. She made a lot of early morning phone calls. She prided herself on being the first person to call you every birthday, which was kind of funny because usually she'd wake you up and then go, "Well, you sleeping?" No, not anymore. And she leaves the same 26-second voicemail, just the same thing. "It's me. Love you. How you doing?" Same stuff. Nobody got names wrong more than my grandmother. When it came to, you bring her a cup of ice, Brandon, Alan, you're my favorite. You're the best. And then you sit down next to her, and then somebody else comes over, and Jamie, Shelby, you're my favorite. But Bubbie, I'm sitting right here. You just shit all over me. I just said the whole thing. Whenever you'd bring a new friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, she would tell them, "Just call me Bubbie." And then she'd always say, "So when you getting married, we need some more high chairs." Her favorite thing was, and I think I butchered this story at the eulogy, was she liked to teach kids how to walk. And even in the end, she wasn't the best walker herself. But she likes to take little kids, whether they're 1 or under, and they're struggling a little bit, and then take an actual knife and go behind them as if a string was connected to them. Cut the imaginary string, and off they go. I think that's another one of her Bubbie mindsets that we're going to stick with. I've been working on this bit for a long time, and my Aunt Sheila, she also picked up on it, and we're all struggling these days with our Yiddish. Not because we don't remember anything, but because so much of it is made up, not true. Things in the family that are completely false. I've used real Yiddish. I've used what I thought was real Yiddish to the point that people tell me, like, "Buddy, what you're saying is not a real word. Like, you got to get rid of it." When I was little, she had a shirt, and it said, in cursive writing, "Bubbie's Nachas," which is like my craziness, my everything. But I was a little kid. I thought it said "my nachos," and it had everybody listed from everybody in the family. For a good part of my growing up, I thought there was a chance we might be Mexican. You're not allowed to laugh at a funeral. It did get a little chuckle, and even during the Shiva, the rabbi used my joke like 3 times. So, I thought it was good. In the middle of the eulogy, I break down and say, if she was there right now, she would turn and say, "Yeah, what else?" Like one of her voicemails. I make little podcast covers for this, and I post them online, and they're the cover to the YouTube, and I don't know if anybody even looks, but it's hard because you have to take a picture and add some details, and one of the things I threw in there was a TV that has a front door on it. She was obsessed with what we called her Netflix. It was the channel on her TV that was the front door of her building, where you could be there watching anything. You leave the room, she's flipping it to 976, 976. She wants to watch the front. She was obsessed with it. We called it her Netflix. One story I didn't get a chance to tell that I really wanted to, because she loved playing mahjong. She loved playing poker, but her favorite was playing gin rummy. And we would play, or rummy 500. I forget, the one where you hold all the cards. And you put them down, you put the card down, and you look away for 2 seconds. She would start sifting through the deck of the face-up cards, looking to see, well, was the king played? It's like, you're cheating right in front of me. You're a cheater. You're paying for zero money. It wasn't the end of the world, but it always got me. If she were here in the middle of that speech, the next thing she says goes, "My back is breaking." Another picture that I put in there was her chicken soup, which I don't know if I loved it as much as some people, but we had so many people that would come through, little kids. I'm sure Milo, who doesn't eat anything, would have eaten Bubbie's soup that she would put Lukshin in. And I'm pretty sure that Lukshin is a made-up word, except that's actual Yiddish. That was one of those words that I had right, and I had no idea. I guess I was bad. There's a famous story. I wasn't there for this, but I was in college, and she had 30 people over for a regular Shabbat Friday night dinner and gave everybody food poisoning. And it's one of those stories that didn't come up in Shiva, didn't come up in any eulogy. But boy, man, when we had her 95th and 94th, like, you just can't talk about that. 970. That's funny. You get that call. I don't know if that has ever happened. I've never been mass poisoned, at least not yet by Julia, but I keep her out of the kitchen. You call somebody like, "Man, my stomach's been messed." Yeah, mine too. Bubbie got everybody. 20 people all night in the bathroom. Back in the days of bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah videos, it's a video. You can see the person, and they go around, they give you the camera, and she'd always look in the camera and go, "Alan, this is Bubbie. You did such a great..." It's like, yes, I know. It's a video. We can see you. She also was a big... Maybe people remember this. She loved the chicken dance. That was like her thing where... She wouldn't wiggle down to the floor, but she definitely would do that. At the end of this, I summed it up. I said, if she were here right now, she would say, "Oh, what did he say?" Because her hearing was absolutely terrible. I got a lot of grief from the rabbi, because I brought up something that always makes me think of her. Her favorite sandwich was a soft shell crab sandwich. Sorry, we don't keep kosher. My parents think that we weren't. Nobody did. And I cannot see soft shell crab and not think of my Bubbie. So, sorry, Rabbi K. Suck it. You don't like me anyway. The other thing she would always say, one of my favorite lines, was when she'd go out to lunch and she'd see you and you're eating sushi or what the hell ever. She would turn, "You eat that?" Yes, I do. It's currently going in my mouth right. Yes, I do eat this. She'd finish everything, every conversation, every interaction with, "And that's the story. Love you, baby." That was my speech. I added some commentary to it. I couldn't just do it straight the way I did before. "Oh, you can't do it straight." Of course you can't. But it was fun. Nobody's going to come up to you and say you did a bad job, but the amount of people that said they did a good job, I personally loved it, until my nephew got up and he did a pretty good job and got the loudest laugh at one of his jokes by talking about how difficult our family can be. Killed me. I was like, come on, I put a lot of work into this, and Carson got the thing. So good for him. Looks like me, not as good as me. I was going to talk about my baseball trip this past weekend. Nothing crazy good happened. You know how people complained that the flights were delayed and you couldn't I had the best karma. Zero traffic into the airport, park the car, the valet shuttle is waiting to take me to the thing. I get on the flight, everything's great. Everything was fine. I come back, no delays, and then I get back. It's just like perfect karma, zero traffic. People complain too much. I want to go and say, like, I had a great karma weekend with getting to the airport and flying and shuttles, and that was fun. My only gripe, and this should be in the Pishadoo section, Airbnbs can go fuck themselves. Airbnbs just lie. We went with 4 people. I rented a place that had 7 guests could stay there. If you put 3 people on that couch, which you couldn't, and 2 people in each, you're getting to 7. That was horseshit. Best part was I had to sleep downstairs on the couch because I think it was my B as far as scheduling it. I made the AC maybe 65 degrees. You could see your breath. Uncle Jeffrey would be so proud. It was awesome. Next section of the podcast, for those who typically don't join into this, I have a lot of good stuff that happens in my life. Being a PT, I'm sorry, Mom. I call it HIPPAnonymous. This one really isn't so much HIPAA with the patient or anything, but I really think it's funny that on my way to work, there's a new office, and you can tell that they're subletting over top of something else. It says, "When life gives you lemonade, psychotherapy." And it's somebody's office. Look, jeez. When you want to think about jumping off of a bridge, psychotherapy. What a terrible tagline. Just put your thing up, get recommendations. I drive by this every day, and every day I just go, man, what a terrible thing. On this podcast, I talk a lot about these stupid things and these stupid people. I saw something this past weekend, and the video was short. I've already retold the story. It doesn't get a laugh, but it kills me. When you're driving and you see a person whose car is flipped upside down and the person sitting outside of it, the car is split between, clearly they messed up, going by and telling them like, "Excuse me, sir, I don't think it's a good idea for you to park there," and watching them melt. Now, I don't recommend doing this. I'm just saying that I saw a video that was a compilation of somebody doing it, and the people's reaction, because as you roll down the window, they're thinking, "Oh no, I'm okay, I'm on the phone." You go, "Excuse me," and they just go, the anger, the sheer anger of the people. I've been there before, don't get me wrong, but it killed me. I call it like just the best thing I saw on the internet. Pishadoo of the week. I only have 10 candidates in a week that Zach is not here, and there's only one winner. Candidate number 1. I hope you're listening, Shell. First candidate, I usually like to make something familial related or something kind of easy. They do something in the Iowa State Fair. It is called the Husband Calling Contest. I heard a couple of outtakes. It's, "Woo, honey, get the food, get up here." We both know the winner of a Simon, Snyder, Eisenberg, Rothman, Isserman, Goldberg family husband calling is one person who just goes, if there ever was a contest created for 2 people, specifically Shelby, your winner, Iowa State Fair fried corn dinner. You actually get $5, so it's actually not really worth the flight out there, but it was just something tailor-made. Candidate number 2. We've talked about the UFC at the White House several times. I'm all over it. I'm so excited for this. It's coming out now that they may not be able to do it. The octagon and everything that accoutrements to it weighs 25,000 pounds, and the White House lawn's not going to be able to support that. Right now, they are 9 months away, up a creek without a paddle. It's just not going to happen. I think it's hysterical. Next candidate, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I don't know what to do with this, but at the Shiva house, one of my cousin's wives, or maybe it was the family, they sent a tray. They went to www.shiva.com, which I didn't know was the thing. Great idea for a business. Why didn't I think of that? And they sent a little gift. It was really sweet and thoughtful. I really do believe that. It's kind of pathetic that that's a thing, but it really feels like you're capitalizing on everything that goes with it. The tray came, it was a couple of bagels, a couple of muffins. The thought that counts was everything. I'm not saying anything about that. Just, you meet somebody. Oh, what do you do? I'm the heir to the Shiva.com fortune. It feels terrible, but they make a ton of money off of caskets, so I guess that's not a thing. I saw this next story. It can't win. This story cannot win because it was amended. I just want you to put yourself in the shoes of this poor guy. There was a judge in Atlanta, Judge Henry Newkirk, who read the verdict at the end of a murder trial and very nonchalantly just goes, and the defendants find the man guilty. Just want to thank everybody for coming. That you come and you speak slowly. I'm not going to exaggerate. 7 seconds, 8 seconds, which is an eternity. And then realizes what the courtroom's doing and goes, "Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say not guilty? He's in a murder trial. This guy was found not guilty, and he said guilty. Again, can you imagine that 10 seconds of your life just like, I'm about to go to prison for a very long time. Can number 5, my boy, Sean Kemp. Why my boy? Because I didn't have very many signature shoes growing up, but I did have the original basketball, the Ziggle. Love it. Of course, that guy is as fertile as they get. Good for him. I forget that he was in a shooting a couple of years ago, and he's officially been sentenced 30 days of house arrest. Kid, you're punished. Go to your room and play Xbox and Netflix for a month. This seems like the biggest non-punishment I've ever heard about. It really, really bothered me. I was like, all right, did he shoot somebody? Is he guilty? Do more than a grounding. They grounded a professional athlete who does all the sex. All right, next one's a weird one. Can at 6. Aubrey Plaza, who's mostly famous for playing the girl who does the deadpan stares on Parks and Rec, and then she was on the second season of White Lotus. Not my flavor of tea. It was last year her husband committed suicide, which is horrible, and I'm not joking about that. Then you find out more of the story that she had been cheating on him, and he found out, and that's kind of what made her do that, which gets really weird. And her making the rounds on different interviews and feeling sympathy, I don't know how much sympathy I'd really have. I mean, that's pretty. I feel bad for the family, but for the actual person, like, dude, it was your husband. You were doing bad stuff. And then when you find out she recently goes on, I want to call her Leslie Knope, but it's Amy Poehler's podcast, because they did Parks and Rec, and the podcast is called Let's Hang or Good Hang or something like that. I don't know. Am I reading too much into this? The whole thing feels really strange. Probably not the right episode for doing all that. Next candidate. There's a new closer, relief guy on the Florida Marlins, Tyler Phillips, who they kill the lights. From the bullpen, he comes in, and as hard as I've ever seen somebody hit somebody, he smacks himself in the face to ramp himself up. Then he goes in, and he's just angry. And after the game, he tells these reporters how I hate baseball, and I hate these players, and that's what like, this is really cute and funny. He may be the best reliever ever. Let's just go ahead and say he's going to blow saves. He's going to lose games. It just seems like the biggest hard-o nothing that when he's pitching for the Arkansas something minor leagues next year, this isn't going to be. It just seems stupid to go in there. Like, act like you've been there before. Act like you'll be there again. It really bothered me. This might be one of those where Zach just goes like, oh, that's stupid. I don't care about you. This is my favorite story of the week. Here's a bronze element. There is a Swatch ad, Swatches, I think is the watches, of a Asian man, where Swatch is getting a lot of heat for this ad because the Asian man isn't exactly doing Asian eyes, but he kind of is pulling it back. Or is that their N-word? Can Asians do this with their eyes and like that's okay? Or is it all still kind of not kung fu at the end of it? It seems like somebody in their marketing department have to be aware. There's only so many hand signals. There's only so many ways that you can offend somebody. We all know the German salute, and you can even do the mustache. But come on, like, don't do that. It's one of those, maybe just don't ever do it. I mean, if you want to make the joke, go for it. Silver candidate. This past week at the Mets game in Atlanta, it was a good time. The second night we're there, we're sitting behind a lovely couple. I didn't talk to them. I talked to a lot of people at the game. I don't know why this bothers me as much. I hope that it doesn't even matter the reason. This can be celebrating somebody, but there's a woman who got custom Mets versus Braves, August 23rd, 2025, Atlanta, jersey. She got this printed on the back of her jersey. Look at that. Almost made it through an episode without doing the camera thing. I think this is the stupidest thing ever. I don't make a t-shirt, but like, you just ruined a jersey. You can't wear that ever again. It's so dumb. It bothered me. The people I was with were like, who cares? She was an older lady. Probably not going to a lot more games anyway. My gold medal candidate, my favorite story of the past week that has gotten a lot of press the last couple of weeks has been about the Menendez brothers, where they were up for bail. And I remember that story. I've looked into it. What they did to their parents was brutal. Like, they were molested and bad things happened. Okay, I get it. But they were just like, they blew their head off with a shotgun. It was horrible. Somehow they are eligible for parole. Somehow they have a decent chance of getting out. And I don't know what happened to one of them, but the one, Eric, the other day got his bail denied because not the original crime. Because in the 30 years he's been in the can, they say he hasn't learned anything. Apparently he's been in trouble for drugs and tax evasion or all these other problems that he's having. It's like, if you ever thought you were going to get out of jail, the only thing you can do is be a model citizen, prisoner. And he hasn't been. The guy has been outright terrible for 30 some years. He was denied. I assume the brother's also not getting out. Those stories from back in the day, don't get me wrong, I've had my issues with family over the years, but don't blow their head off. That seems a little simple. Those are the Pishadoo candidates. You're Ron Katz, Tahan, Schechter, anybody watch Shelby? If you're watching, throw out who you think the winner is. I'll read them again slowly. And fuck Zach, he's not here. Doesn't matter. Iowa State husband calling contest. UFC cage is too heavy. Shiva.com is selling merch. They should, actually. I might buy a t-shirt. Judge says not guilty, except I meant he was guilty. No, not guilty. Judge says guilty. He meant not guilty. Sean Kemp only gets 30 days of house arrest, which is bullshit. Aubrey Plaza making the rounds on the Let's Hang podcast. Tyler Phillips, relief pitcher, smacking himself. The SWAT. Shouldn't be doing that. Mets jersey customized with a date and a thing. She seemed like a sweet lady. And the Menendez brothers trying to get out on bail after being non-model prisoners the last 30 years. You better not. We have not guilty, not guilty. The judge. Should I count it down? 10 seconds? Wow, I did not think that was going to win. It really wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, I guess he's an asshole. You have one job. You just say guilty or not guilty. Shelby, 3. Ron Katz, everybody. The judge. It is the Atlanta judge that said the murderer was guilty. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant not guilty. Wow. Winner, Pishadoo of the week. Very nice. Well, the editing on this is going to be very easy. I might not have to speed it up. I certainly don't have to take out all of Zach's ums. I appreciate everybody watching this. People ask me if I do this. Do you still do this every week? And the truth is, yeah, it's fun sometimes when he's not a pain. But I don't know when I'm going to go back and listen to these. I have before. I've gone back a couple years. I don't remember half of these stories. So why do I do this? It's for entertainment. I enjoy the speaking. The news becomes fun. And at the end of it, it feels like it's like a living audio video diary. For me, for anybody, I hope nothing bad ever happens to me, but I know there are people in my world. If there was a Bubbie Hytsie episode, I would go back and I probably wouldn't. She wouldn't hear anything. But there you go. I had fun doing this. Thanks for everybody. Seriously, all you guys who showed up live, and even if you watched for a little bit, I appreciate it. Tell a friend, share the episode. I don't think this is going to be one of our highest downloaded ones, but I post these things everywhere. They get hundreds, sometimes thousands. You never know. Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Thanks for listening to tonight's episode. I had fun. I'm going to keep doing this. I heard Tommy Cutlets just got cut from the Giants. I don't know if he's going to get picked up by another football team, but that guy will live infinitely in infamy for this motion. So good for him. Love you, baby.